Meet Daniel, top of his class, the kind of guy who finished exams early and still got the highest score. Daniel is, by every measure, extremely smart. He is also 34, has $900 to his name, and just financed a car he can't afford at 22% interest. And here's the strange part. He knows better. He could explain to you, in detail, exactly why that loan is a terrible idea. He just did it anyway. Now, before we feel too sorry for Daniel, try something with me. A bat and a ball cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Most people, smart people especially, hear an answer instantly. 10 cents. It feels obvious. It's also wrong. The ball costs 5 cents. And if you got that wrong, you're in excellent company. That tiny 5-cent gap is the entire story of why intelligent people, maybe you, quietly wreck their own finances. This isn't bad luck. It's a trap, and it's built out of the one thing you're most proud of. Here's what almost everyone believes. Smart people are good with money. It sounds obvious. Money is basically math. Smart people are good at math, so smart people must be good with money. That assumption is wrong, and it's wrong in a way that quietly costs people their entire financial lives. Because there's a difference, a huge one, between being intelligent and being rational. They are not the same thing. Not even close. A psychologist named Keith Stanovich spent his career on exactly this puzzle. He kept noticing something that didn't add up. People with high IQs, top scores, elite degrees, were falling for the same mental traps as everyone else. Sometimes worse. So he gave it a name. Dysrationalia. Then, in 2012, Stanovich and his colleagues ran a study that should genuinely unsettle you. They measured the bias blind spot. That's simply your ability to notice when your own thinking is biased. You'd expect smarter people to be better at catching their own blind spots. They found the opposite. The smarter the person, the bigger the blind spot. So what is dysrationalia, really? It's being highly intelligent and deeply irrational at the same time. In plain terms, intelligence is horsepower. Rationality is the steering wheel. They are two separate systems. You can have a 500 horsepower engine, all that raw processing power, and almost no steering. And a car with huge horsepower and no steering wheel doesn't win the race. It just hits the wall faster. That's Daniel. That's a lot of very smart, very broke people. Big engine, no wheel. Now, you might be thinking, nice metaphor, but how does any of this actually reach into your account and take money out? Fair question. Because the trap never feels like a trap. It feels like being smart. So here are the 4 ways it quietly drains you. So, the first way. Overconfidence. When you're used to being right, you assume you'll be right about money too. So the smart person skips the boring index fund. That's for average people. He picks stocks. He times the market. He hunts for the clever angle. And the data here is brutal. The investors who trade the most, the confident, active, I've got this figured out crowd, consistently earn less than the people who did almost nothing. Their intelligence didn't beat the market, it just gave them more expensive ideas. The second way, better excuses. And this one is almost funny. The smarter you are, the better you are at justifying what you already wanted to do anyway. Psychologists call it motivated reasoning. In plain words, your brain decides what it wants first, then uses all that intelligence to build the argument for it. An average person wants the expensive watch and feels a little guilty. A brilliant person wants the same watch and builds a flawless 5-point case for why it's actually a smart investment in his personal brand. Same purchase, better excuse. And he believes it because he's the one who wrote it. 3. The blind spot. Remember the study. Smart people are the most certain they're not biased. So they never check themselves. They don't ask for advice because what could anyone possibly tell them that they haven't already thought of? That certainty is the exact reason the mistake never gets caught. 4. Too smart for boring. The real rules of money are embarrassingly simple. Spend less than you earn. Save automatically. Buy the boring fund. Wait a long time. That's basically it. But when you're smart, simple feels insulting. It feels beneath you. So you go looking for something more sophisticated, more complex, more worthy of your intelligence. And in money, complexity is almost always where the money goes to die. And here's the part that should genuinely worry you. With almost every other weakness, being smart helps you fix it. Not this one. This is the only trap where your intelligence makes it worse, because your intelligence is what builds the cage. Think about it. The blind spot grows with intelligence. Motivated reasoning gets stronger the better you are at reasoning. Every bit of brain power you have doesn't go toward escaping the trap. It goes toward writing you a more convincing alibi for staying in it. Your mind isn't protecting you from the bad decision. It's the defense attorney arguing for it. And it is very, very good at its job. So how do you get out? You cannot outthink this because thinking is the problem. Instead, you do three things. First, assume you're biased precisely because you're smart. Flip the whole thing around. Instead of, "I'm too smart to fall for this," tell yourself, "I'm smart enough that my own mind can out-argue me." That one sentence is worth more than any budgeting app. Then add friction. Any purchase over a set amount waits 72 hours. Not because you can't afford it, but because you want to see if the brilliant justification survives 3 days without you. Second, choose boring on purpose. Treat boring as the strategy, not the insult. The automatic transfer the day you get paid. The single low-cost index fund. Spending less than you make. It will feel too simple for someone as clever as you. That feeling is the trap talking. Do it anyway. Third, take yourself out of the loop. The problem is that your clever brain gets a vote on every decision. So remove the vote. Automate your savings so the money is gone before you can build a case for spending it. Set the rules once while you're calm. Then let the system run your money, not your in-the-moment cleverness. You're not trying to win the argument with yourself. You're trying to never have it. And I want to be clear, because this one can sting. This was never a video about you being dumb. It's the exact opposite. The whole problem is that you are smart enough that your own mind can talk you into almost anything. That's not a character flaw. That's a powerful engine with the steering wheel left loose. The people who build real wealth are almost never the smartest ones in the room. They're the ones humble enough to stop trusting how smart they are and just follow a few boring rules for a long time. You don't need a higher IQ. You've got plenty. You need something rarer. You need the humility to not let your intelligence drive. Which brings us back to Daniel and the bat and the ball. The ball costs 5 cents. Daniel got there eventually. He always could. That was never the question. The question, the one that decides whether all that intelligence ever becomes freedom, was never how smart he is. It's whether he's humble enough to build the steering wheel. So don't just add horsepower. Build the wheel. If this made you look at your own mind a little differently, subscribe to Money Mind, and I'll see you in the next one.